and maybe even bigger. I thought the WBC judge was a disgrace, giving the fight to Fury. Is it a surprise? Fury was the WBC champion, and their judge gave...
The boxing world is disgusted with how the officials favored Fury in this fight, despite Alexander Usyk's excellent performance. Colin Hart was disappointed with the judge who scored the fight in Fury's favor. Carl Froch also talked about the controversial refereeing during the fight.
That corner, onto the ropes, a lot of people were confused. The referee, to be fair, had a bit of a stinker because he was getting involved when Fury was under pressure, when Usyk was landing left hook, left hook, double left hook.
Many people analyzed the fight and pointed out how close the Gypsy King was to being knocked out by Usyk.
His back skins grew up, and look at the shot that's about to land right there in the chin. If the ref didn't step in, I think it would have been a KO. It probably been a finish, because he was ready to put this horse.
Alexander Usyk was also asked about him being robbed of a knockout, and he gave a stunning response.
Do you feel like a knockout was stolen from you?
I don't think about it, because we have a winner. Okay, maybe. I don't think about it, because...
The boxing world is still reacting to the fight, and many are not happy about the controversies. But what did they have to say? Stick around and watch as we find out in this video. The Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight was an exciting fight, with both fighters putting up a good show and having an equal chance of winning this bout. Perhaps not surprisingly, there were some controversial moments from the officials, such as referee Mark Nelson and the judges scoring the fight. Tyson Fury felt that he won the fight and that the judges favored Usyk because his country, Ukraine, was at war.
Good fight, best we could do, and you know, his country's at war, so people are siding with the country at war, but make no mistake, I won that fight in my opinion, and I'll be back. I've got a rematch clause, you know.
However, the boxing world was particularly furious with referee Nelson, as many felt that Usyk was robbed of an early lockout win. To understand this, let's go back to when both fighters were fighting it out in the 9th round. Usyk was going at the Gypsy King, bloodying his nose and face with a left hand. Usyk then punished Fury in the 9th, hitting him with another concussive left before battering the British star around the ring. Fury sagged into a corner while barely staying on his feet with about 10 seconds left in the round. But just as Usyk was tightening the screw and looking to close in on a historic win, the referee pulled the pair apart and gave the Brit a standing count. Then the klaxon sounded, followed by the bell, as Fury escaped.
Fury and Usyk gave us a show for the ages! What a fight!
Usyk was robbed of a knockout win, and the boxing world was livid. Usyk's promoter Alex Krasyuk expressed his frustration after the fight.
But he had to win in the 9th. But referee has stolen his victory.
What do you mean?
He had to stop the fight in the 9th.
Do you believe Tyson should have been stopped then?
Yes.
Krasyuk stated that he believed Usyk should have won in the 9th round, asserting that the referee had stolen his victory by not stopping the fight. Krasyuk firmly held the view that Tyson should have been stopped in the 9th round and expressed clear dissatisfaction with the referee's decision not to do so. Regarding the judges' scorecards, Krasyuk was openly unhappy, describing it as impossible to be satisfied with them. He personally scored the fight as 7 rounds for Usyk and 5 rounds for Tyson, also considering the 1-point deduction for the knockdown. Krasyuk dismissed Tyson Fury's belief that he should have won the fight, explaining that fighters often perceive themselves as the winners, regardless of the actual outcome. This critique highlights Krasyuk's discontent with both the refereeing and the judging in the match. British journalist Colin Hart also addressed the judge who scored the fight in favor of the Gypsy King. Hart praised Usyk's performance, noting that despite being the smaller man, Usyk delivered an impressive display. He mentioned that he was not surprised by Usyk's performance because he had predicted Usyk would win, attributing his prediction to Tyson Fury's decline. Hart observed that Fury is not the same fighter he was 3 years ago, particularly since his last fight with Deontay Wilder. He speculated that if a rematch were to occur on October 12th, Usyk would likely win again, potentially with an even larger margin. A significant part of Hart's critique was directed at the WBC judge, whom he described as a disgrace for awarding the fight to Fury. He found it unsurprising that the WBC judge favored Fury, given that Fury was the WBC champion. However, Hart considered the judge's score of 113 in favor of Fury to be a joke. Instead, he believed the score of 112 in favor of Usyk was more accurate.
I think the score of 115, 112 was just about right. You know, you've got to hand it to Usyk. He was going as fast in the 12th round as he was in the...
Hart commended Usyk's fitness and skill, noting that Usyk maintained his pace and performance throughout all 12 rounds. He remarked on Usyk's ability to recover quickly, even after being wobbled in the 5th round by a right hand from Fury. Despite this moment of vulnerability, Usyk's recovery was almost immediate, preventing Fury from capitalizing on the opportunity. Regarding Usyk's status in the heavyweight division, Hart asserted that Usyk has proven himself to be the best heavyweight of his era. He highlighted Usyk's accomplishments, including being the Unified World Cruiserweight Champion and the Unified World Heavyweight Champion. Hart expressed that Usyk's record is likely unbeatable and emphasized Usyk's greatness as a fighter. In an interview with IFL TV, Derek Chisora also shared his candid reactions to the fight. Chisora was visibly frustrated and bewildered by the referee's handling of the 9th round, where he felt the count given to Fury was overly generous and suspect. He described it as the most dodgiest count he had ever witnessed in boxing, implying that it was unnecessarily prolonged and lacked integrity.
Mate, that's how he was. That guy, I don't know what the hell was that about. That was the most dodgiest count I've ever heard in boxing.
Chisora emphasized that boxing is a great sport, but warned that such questionable decisions could tarnish its reputation. He expressed concern that these kinds of controversies could lead fans to fall out of love with the sport. Chisora urged the boxing community to avoid ruining the sport with stupid things like this, highlighting the importance of maintaining fairness and credibility in boxing. Despite his criticism, Chisora praised the overall quality of the fight, describing it as a great fight and a great show. He noted the unique atmosphere of the event, pointing out that the absence of alcohol allowed fans to fully engage with and appreciate the match. Chisora relished the live reactions from the crowd, who were deeply engrossed in the action. Looking ahead, Chisora expressed confidence in a potential rematch between Fury and Usyk. He was adamant that Fury would take the rematch and predicted that he would come back stronger and heavier to smoke Usyk. Chisora conveyed his belief in Fury's resilience and determination, asserting that the Gypsy King would return with a vengeance. Tyson Fury's former opponent David Haye expressed his joy over Usyk's victory. He had previously predicted a Usyk win, and even foresaw some controversial decisions where Usyk would be at a disadvantage.
Definitely glad that Usyk, I wasn't expecting Usyk to have that sort of punch power and to have him in that much sort of trouble. I saw it more of Usyk being the one moving around boxing, but he was the one hunting Fury the whole way.
Expressing his satisfaction, Haye highlighted that without the knockdown, the judges might have scored the fight in favor of Fury. Haye was surprised by Usyk's punching power and his ability to trouble Fury. Contrary to his expectations of Usyk being more defensive, Usyk was aggressive and hunted Fury throughout the match, while Fury was clowning around. Haye believed that the right man won and was very pleased with the outcome. Regarding the controversial 9th round, Haye criticized the referee's decision to stop the action, give Fury a count, and then an additional 20 seconds. He called it some of the worst refereeing in such an important fight. Haye imagined the injustice if the fight had been judged differently and Usyk had lost despite having Fury fully out on his feet. Haye also commented on what Fury needed to do to secure a victory. He suggested that Fury should have thrown more quality punches, including power punches and body shots, rather than trying to steal rounds. Fury's lack of dominance in the rounds was a critical factor in his loss, according to Haye. Carl Froch, who had been critical of Fury in the past, also shared his thoughts on the fight.
Putting Usyk under pressure here, but Usyk won the last round. It was close, but Usyk landed the better shots, and the the right man won. I did think that it was going to be a draw. I mean, the judge that gave it 114, 113, I believe it was.
He began by expressing his excitement over the historic nature of the fight, highlighting that it had been 25 years since the heavyweight division had an undisputed champion. Froch noted that Fury started the fight relatively well, but was quickly pushed back by Usyk's relentless pressure and movement. He acknowledged that Fury was using his jab effectively and displayed good head movement and feints. However, Usyk's fast feet and amateur style of bouncing around the ring allowed him to control the early rounds. Froch believed Usyk won the first 3 rounds, while Fury began to adapt and come back into the fight by the 4th and 5th rounds. Froch praised Fury for his ability to adjust and improve as the fight progressed. Fury started landing more body shots and uppercuts, which Froch described as particularly effective. Despite this, Froch emphasized Usyk's toughness, noting how well he absorbed Fury's punches and continued to fight back. Froch was highly complimentary of Usyk's performance, noting his ability to dominate the early rounds and withstand Fury's attacks. He highlighted Usyk's impressive amateur background and his success as a cruiserweight champion before moving up to heavyweight. Froch mentioned Usyk's previous victories over Anthony Joshua, emphasizing that Usyk had proven himself as a legitimate heavyweight contender. A key moment Froch focused on was the 9th round when Usyk had Fury in trouble, landing a series of punches that nearly resulted in a knockout. Froch criticized the referee's handling of this round, suggesting that the referee's hesitation may have prevented a stoppage. He noted that Fury was saved by the ropes and the bell, which allowed him to recover and continue fighting. Froch believed that the right man won the fight, stating that Usyk deserved the victory. He criticized one of the judges who scored the fight in favor of Fury, calling it bad scoring. Despite Fury's claim that he believed he won the fight, Froch felt that Usyk's performance, particularly in the critical rounds, clearly demonstrated he was the better fighter on the night. Froch also discussed the potential for a rematch. He speculated on Fury's motivations, suggesting that Fury's claim of winning the fight might be influenced by the financial incentives of a rematch. Froch expressed admiration for Usyk's character, describing him as a man of God who is not driven by material wealth. He suggested that Usyk could retire on top, having nothing left to prove in the sport. The boxing world is not happy about the poor officiating during the fight. But what are your thoughts? Was this a fair fight? Let us know in the comments. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications so that you never miss out on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.